Let's get one thing straight right now. The richest person in the room isn't the one with the biggest bank account. It's the one whose mind is constantly expanding, the one who understands that knowledge is the ultimate currency. Money can be lost, stolen, or devalued overnight. But what you learn, what you understand, the skills you forge inside your own mind, that is wealth no market crash can touch, no one can seize, and that compounds in value every single day. Everyone dreams of more freedom, more control, more confidence to handle whatever life throws their way. But most people chase the symptom, not the cause. They chase the money, the title, the external validation, hoping it will fill a gap they feel inside. They overlook the fundamental truth. Real wealth isn't a what, it's a who. It's who you become through the relentless daily pursuit of understanding. Self-education is the silent, brutal, beautiful separator. It's the line between those who watch life happen and those who make life happen, between those who wait for permission and those who grant it to themselves. You cannot, you will not build a rich life with a poor mindset. A poor mindset is closed, fearful, and certain it already knows enough. A rich mindset is hungry, humble, and knows the learning never stops. When you invest time in learning, real, deliberate, uncomfortable learning, you aren't just collecting facts, you are upgrading your mental operating system. Your decisions stop being reactive, emotional guesses and start becoming strategic, calculated moves. Your perspective shifts. You stop seeing obstacles and start seeing puzzles waiting to be solved. Every new skill you acquire, every book that challenges your assumptions, every lesson that comes from a failure you analyzed instead of ran from, it all adds a brick to a foundation of unshakable personal value. This value can't be laid off. It can't be automated away. It is your leverage in a chaotic world. If you're tired of feeling like you're at the mercy of your circumstances, if you're ready to stop waiting and start building, then the path is clear. It's not a secret, it's a decision. It begins with a single, non-negotiable commitment to learn something new every single day. This isn't about getting a PhD. It's about the 20-minute podcast on behavioral psychology during your commute. It's about the 10 pages of a biography before bed. It's about watching a tutorial and then doing the thing, clumsily, badly at first, but doing it. This daily commitment is you taking the steering wheel of your own future. Most people drift, hoping opportunity will knock. They wait for the perfect mentor, the perfect course, the perfect sign. But opportunity is already here, floating past every day, and knowledge is the net that catches it. When you decide that today and every day you will expand your mind, you declare war on mediocrity. You build momentum so powerful that doubt can't keep up. Your confidence grows not from empty affirmations, from the concrete evidence of your own growing competence. You start to trust your own judgment because you've been feeding it better information. This is how you transform from a passive consumer of life into an active architect. The world doesn't slow down, it accelerates. The only way to not be left behind is to outlearn it. Commit to that daily expansion. Make it as routine as brushing your teeth. This daily habit, this practice of consistent curiosity, is more powerful than any single paycheck or promotion. It is the engine of every success you will ever have. It's simple, but it's not easy. It requires you to choose the hard work of growth over the easy comfort of distraction. It means choosing the podcast over pointless scrolling, the book over another episode, the practice session over another hour of passive consumption. Every day you choose learning is a day invested in a future version of yourself who can handle bigger problems, seize bigger opportunities, and live with deeper freedom. That person is waiting for you on the other side of today's effort. Will you show up for them? But knowledge alone is inert. It's potential energy. To create real change, to build that real wealth, you must turn that knowledge into action. You must move from the theoretical to the practical. This is where most people stall. They become libraries of untested ideas. They collect courses like trophies but never implement the lessons. They confuse consuming information with making progress. Here's the hard truth. Learning without application is a form of intellectual procrastination. It feels productive, but it produces nothing. The bridge between knowing and having is doing. Your first and most critical practice ground is your own mind, and the most powerful tool to clarify it is to write. Write down your ideas, your insights, your frustrations, your plans. When thoughts stay in your head, they are chaotic, emotional, and vague. The act of writing forces clarity. It demands that you structure the chaos, that you find the words for the feeling, that you confront the gaps in your own logic. Start a journal, not a fancy one, a cheap notebook or a digital document. Every day, dump your thoughts onto the page. What did you learn? What confused you? What's one small step you can take based on what you now know? This isn't for publication, it's for excavation. Writing is how you think on paper, and seeing your thoughts outside of yourself allows you to analyze them, edit them, and improve them. It turns fleeting inspiration into a blueprint you can follow. Next, you must surround yourself with the right environment. You are the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. If you're surrounded by voices of doubt, complaint, and complacency, that is the ceiling you are building for yourself. You must, with intention, seek out and immerse yourself in the voices of those who inspire your growth. This doesn't always mean in person. In today's world, mentorship is abundant. Listen to podcasts of people who have achieved what you want. Read the biographies of those who have overcome greater obstacles. Engage with online communities that are focused on growth, not gossip. Fill your mental space with the language of possibility, strategy, and resilience. Let the voices of experience, through books, interviews, courses, become your daily counsel. This constant drip feed of inspiration and insight reshapes your subconscious mind. It normalizes ambition. It makes excellence seem expected, not exceptional. And then, with a clearer mind and a supportive environment, you must experiment, boldly. You can read all the books on swimming, but you'll only learn by getting in the water and flailing until you float. Theory meets reality in the laboratory of your own life. Take that small idea you wrote down and test it. Try a new way of organizing your day. Practice a new communication technique in a low-stakes conversation. Build a small project around a new skill. The goal of the experiment is not immediate, flawless success. The goal is data. What worked? What failed spectacularly? Why? This iterative process of action, observation, and adjustment is where true wisdom is forged. It builds a deep, intuitive competence that no theoretical knowledge can match. It also builds resilience because you become comfortable with the cycle of trial, error, and learning. Failure stops being a mark of shame and becomes a source of invaluable feedback. This trio, writing to clarify, curating your influences, and experimenting to learn, creates a powerful feedback loop for growth. It moves you out of the spectator's seat and into the arena. Your confidence will no longer be based on what you hope you know, but on what you have proven to yourself you can do and learn. This active, engaged stance towards your own development is what separates the dreamers from the doers. It's how knowledge becomes wisdom, and wisdom becomes tangible results. Stop waiting for the perfect, foolproof plan. There isn't one. There is only the next step, taken with the best understanding you have right now, and the commitment to learn from the outcome. Your life is your most important project. Start treating it like one. As you build this momentum, you will encounter plateaus. You will face confusion. You will have days where it feels like you're not moving forward. This is not a sign to stop. It is the signal to engage your most powerful tool, deep, honest reflection. Growth is not a straight line upward, it's a spiral, where you often circle back to similar challenges, but from a higher level of understanding. To ensure you're actually ascending that spiral, you must become your own most objective coach. This means scheduling regular, ruthless evaluations of your progress, not just in your feelings, but against the goals you set. What did you intend to learn this month? What skill did you intend to practice? What were the measurable outcomes? Look at the data of your own life. This evaluation requires brutal honesty. It's easy to confuse being busy with being effective. Reflection is the process of separating the two. At the end of each week, ask yourself the hard questions. Where did I waste time? Where did I avoid the difficult but important task? What was my single most valuable lesson? This practice installs a learning mechanism into your very routine. It turns every experience, especially the failures, into a syllabus for your continued education. And from this reflection comes the crucial next step, adjustment. Stubbornly sticking to a method that isn't working is not discipline, it's foolishness. The agile learner assesses, adapts, and pivots. Maybe you need a different resource. Maybe you need to break a skill down into even smaller components. Maybe you need to seek a mentor's perspective on a specific blockage. Adjustment is not admission of failure, it's the application of intelligence. This cycle of action, reflection, and adjustment is the engine of mastery. It's how you move from conscious incompetence to unconscious competence. Furthermore, one of the fastest ways to deepen your own understanding is to teach what you're learning to someone else. The act of teaching is a forced clarity exercise. When you have to explain a concept simply, you quickly discover the holes in your own knowledge. You have to structure the information logically, anticipate questions, and find relevant examples. This process cements the knowledge in your mind far more deeply than passive consumption ever could. You don't need a classroom. Explain it to a friend, write a short article about it, or even just talk it out to yourself as if you were instructing someone. Teaching reinforces your learning and builds communication skills, another form of valuable capital. Throughout this entire journey, one quality is your most precious fuel: curiosity. This is not childlike naivete, but a disciplined adult curiosity, a relentless why and how and what if. Stay endlessly curious about everything, about systems, about human behavior, about your own reactions, about better methods. Curiosity is the antidote to boredom and complacency. It's what leads you to ask the next question, to read the next chapter, to run the next experiment. When curiosity dies, learning stops and growth stagnates. Protect your curiosity like your life depends on it, because your growth does. Nurture it by exploring fields outside your immediate goals. Let yourself fall down rabbit holes of interesting information. This cross-pollination of ideas is where true innovation and unique insights are born. Your unique perspective, forged at the intersection of your diverse curiosities, becomes your competitive advantage. This phase of the journey, reflection, adjustment, teaching, and nurtured curiosity, is what transforms a casual learner into a relentless master. It's the difference between dabbling and dedicating your life to the pursuit of excellence. It's how you build not just a collection of skills, but a profound depth of character and capability. This is where you transition from following paths to creating your own. Now, let's talk about scale and impact. As your personal wealth of knowledge and skill grows, its value multiplies when you apply it to create solutions, not just for yourself, but for others. The ultimate test and expression of your learning is your ability to use it to navigate complexity, solve meaningful problems, and contribute value to the world around you. This is where knowledge transcends personal wealth and becomes legacy. Start by looking for problems you can solve with your growing toolkit. Don't wait for a grand invitation or a perfect job description. Identify an inefficiency in your current workflow and design a better system. See a common frustration among your peers and research or create a solution. Use your skills to build a project, however small, that has a beginning, middle, and end. The completion of real projects builds a portfolio of evidence for yourself and for others of what you are capable of. This evidence-based confidence is unshakable. Furthermore, embrace the power of focused online learning to fill specific gaps with precision. The digital age has democratized expertise. You can find masterfully taught courses on virtually any technical skill, soft skill, or academic subject. Use these not as passive entertainment, but as active tool acquisition sessions. Complete the exercises, build the project the course outlines. Earn the certificate not for the paper, but for the proof of completed work. This targeted learning allows you to strategically fortify your skill set based on the demands of your goals and the feedback from your real-world experiments. It's efficient, direct, and puts world-class instruction at your fingertips. As you solve problems and build competence, you will naturally begin to attract opportunities and people. Your growing reputation as a learner and a doer becomes a magnet. This is where your curated environment and your own output start to merge. You begin to collaborate with other growth-oriented individuals. You start to contribute to their projects and they to yours. This network of mutual growth and accountability is invaluable. It provides support, challenge, and accelerates your progress exponentially. You learn from each other's successes and failures, shortening your own learning curves. Within this ecosystem, your ability to ask deep, insightful questions becomes a superpower. Move beyond superficial how-to questions. Ask why questions that uncover principles. Ask what-if questions that explore possibilities. Ask how might we questions that frame challenges as opportunities for collective solution building. Deep questions provoke deep thinking in you and in those you engage with. They are the keys that unlock innovation and break through assumptions. This stage is about synthesis and contribution. It's about weaving together the threads of daily learning, skill practice, reflection, and experimentation into a cohesive tapestry of capability. You are no longer just a student. You are a practitioner, a problem solver, and a potential leader. Your wealth is now visibly manifesting not just in your mindset, but in your output, your relationships, and your increasing ability to handle complexity. You are building a track record of reliability and results. This tangible proof is the final, irrefutable argument for the value of a life dedicated to learning. It moves the concept of knowledge as wealth from a philosophical idea to a lived, demonstrable reality.
This is your moment of decision. Right now, you have seen the blueprint. You understand that real, unassailable wealth is not deposited in a bank. It's built in the silent, daily choices to learn, to practice, to reflect, and to apply. It's the compounded interest of a mind that never settles. The world is overflowing with distractions designed to keep you consuming, passive, and waiting. But you are not meant to be a spectator in your own life. You are meant to be the author, the builder, the prime asset. The gap between where you are and where you want to be is not filled with luck or waiting. It is filled with knowledge, skill, and disciplined action. So here is your call to action, not for someday, but for today. First, make the irrevocable decision that you are a lifelong learner. Let that be your identity. From this moment forward, you are someone who grows every single day. Second, within the next hour, perform one decisive act of learning. Open a book you've been putting off and read one chapter. Watch a tutorial on a skill that intimidates you and attempt the first step. Write down one clear goal for your personal growth this month and the first micro step you will take tomorrow morning. Do not let the sun set on today without having actively invested in your mind. Third, commit to the daily habit of writing and reflection. Tonight, before you sleep, grab a notebook and answer 3 questions. What is one thing I learned today? What is one thing I could have done better? What is one small step I will take tomorrow based on this? This 5-minute practice will create more clarity than weeks of anxious overthinking. Fourth, curate your environment starting now. Unfollow social media accounts that drain you or sell you envy. Subscribe to a podcast, YouTube channel, or newsletter that inspires and educates. Your attention is your most precious resource. Guard it fiercely and invest it only in what builds you up. Fifth, and most importantly, take your learning public. Share one insight you gained this week with someone, a friend, a colleague, online. Explain a concept you're trying to master. The act of teaching will solidify it in your mind and may spark a conversation that leads to your next breakthrough. Stop hoarding knowledge. Let it flow through you. This is not a vague, feel-good pep talk. This is a tactical plan for building a different life. A life of confidence born from competence. A life of freedom born from capability. A life where you are not anxiously chasing trends, but calmly creating value because you have equipped yourself to do so. The path is clear. The tools are in your hands. The only thing missing is your consistent daily choice to walk it. You don't need more time. You need better priorities. You don't need a guru. You need the discipline to be your own teacher. You don't need permission to start building your most valuable asset. You just need to start. So what will you learn today? What skill will you practice for just 15 minutes? What assumption will you question? The richest version of you is not in the future. It is waiting to be built by the decisions you make in the next 24 hours. Don't watch this video and close the tab unchanged. Let this be the catalyst. Let today be the day you stop consuming inspiration and start building perspiration. Let your actions from this moment forward declare to the world, and more importantly to yourself, that you are a person who builds wealth from the inside out. The journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step. The empire of an unshakable mind begins with a single lesson. Start now.
If this video motivated you, make sure you like, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you never miss future content. Comment below and let me know where you're watching from and what goal you're working toward. Share this video with someone who needs motivation today. Let's grow and win together.